Trump prosecutor Nathan Wade and the bombshell affair between Fani Willis is at the center of a high-profile case. Hi again and welcome. This is Links 007 TV Let's Talk, and we're about to discuss this on the program. If it's the first time you're watching, please remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell and click on all so you're always updated with our latest report. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back and thanks for joining us. This is Links 007 TV Let's Talk. This is the place where we discuss issues of national importance, global importance, or other situations that are buzzing in the news. So as we all know, Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney Fani Willis charged former President Donald Trump with 13 felonies that she say was part of a large conspiracy to undermine the 2020 presidential result in the state of Joe Biden won. But now that she's accused of a conflict of interest, Willis herself may now be the biggest threat to the case against Trump. At the hearing into whether Willis must be disqualified from the case, a defiant Willis took the stand to lambaste the accusation that she acted inappropriately and to tell her side of the story, arguing that any allegations of misconduct against her part is baseless character assassination. Willis had already acknowledged that she had a personal relationship with Nathan Wade, the special counsel she appointed to the case involving Trump, but she argued that their relationship doesn't give rise to a legal conflict of interest. For those who generally have faith in Willis, she has understandably enraged and gave a masterclass in how to defend herself in the public setting. Over the past few weeks, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, who is leading the prosecution against former President of the United States Donald Trump and his allies over alleged election interference in Georgia, has been put on the hot seat after she was accused by multiple defendants' attorneys of conflict of interest with a fellow prosecutor. Willis and Nathan Wade admitted in court to having a romantic relationship, but have contended their relationship has never been involved direct or indirect financial benefit to the DA. Last week, Willis took the stand in the court hearing over the motion and pushed back against the accusation, telling defense attorney Ashley Lee Merchant, who filed the motion, "You lied."
Ms. Willis, how did you know to come into the courtroom right then?
There were people. I was pacing in my office.
Okay.
And I heard someone yell, "His testimony is done." It only made sense to me that I would be your next witness. And I've been very anxious to have this conversation with you today. So I ran to the courtroom.
So as soon as you heard that Mr. Wade was done testifying, that's when you just assumed you would be the next witness?
It only makes sense.
Did you listen to any of the testimony?
I've been in my office pacing, ma'am.
Okay. Did you listen to any of the arguments?
I did hear the arguments this morning. It's ridiculous to me that you lied on Monday, and yet here we still are. And I did listen to that argument.
All right, so that was it, just the argument, no testimony.
Right, I listened to the argument this morning where Adam Abadi, I thought, did an excellent job pointing out how dishonest you were with the court on Monday. And I'm actually surprised that the hearing continued, but since it did, here I am.
Great. So let's just talk about what you did in preparation for today. Did you meet with Mr. Wade at all? Once the motion was filed, did you meet with Mr. Wade and talk to him about the motion that I filed to disqualify you?
On this first January motion?
Yes.
I don't know if you could say talked about. I probably had some choice words about some of the things that you said that were dishonest within this motion. So I don't know that it was a conversation. As you know, Mr. Wade is a Southern gentleman. Me, not so much.
Okay, but my question was, did you have a conversation with him?
I didn't have a substantive conversation.
You did not?
I read this motion, skimmed it more so, and I've probably said some choice things to him about some of the lies they were told.
Okay.
And been printed in the media because, we used to be in a day and time where you had 60 Minutes and people did stories and they verified information and you had this great reporting. But it seems today that a lawyer writes a lie and then it's printed for all of the world to see.
Well, I just want to make sure that you answer the question I asked, though. So my question was...
That's been asked and answered.
Overruled, Mr. Abadi.
I told you what happened. I read the motion. I am sure I told him what my opinion of it is.
Okay.
And past that, we had no substantive conversation.
You did not. Okay.
Is there something you didn't understand?
No, I just wanted to make sure that
Okay.
you did not have a meeting with him in the conference room to discuss the motion.
Next question,
No.
Ms. Merchant.
So in the conference room of my office, within this week, you produced some financial document. That financial document was given to me, something, and I'm not even sure who was giving it to him by me or Mr. Abadi gave it to me. And I think he showed me a document in our conference room. But as far as a substantive conversation, I don't believe I've had any conversation with him that is substantive related to this.
Okay.
I have had conversations with him since you filed the motion, but they wouldn't be substantive to this. He's sent me very nice sermons that have been done. And so we've had conversations about, did you listen to that sermon? You know, things of that nature. And I would say they were in relationship to this because I think he did it to be kind.
Okay. Let's start back in 2019.
Yeah.
So you and Mr. Wade met in October 2019 at a conference?
That is correct.
Okay.
And I think in one of your motions you tried to implicate I slept with him at that conference, which I find to be extremely offensive. I stayed at that conference. Mr. Wade was my teacher. I did not meet him when he taught the class. I was standing outside talking to Lisa Reeves, who is a judge. Me and her were just having a conversation. Mr. Wade walks up. I think they hug each other. They have some brief conversation. She introduces us.
Your Honor, I'm going to object. We kind of thought that when we asked the question, you were going to answer the question, not a speech, so I object to the speech.
I agree,
believe I'm
Judge.
able to explain my answers.
I believe she's able to explain her answer.
And that's
Ms. Merchant, that's okay. I can handle it. Ms. Willis, I'll ask you just listen to the answer, or excuse me, the question, and keep the answers confined to the question as best you can. I think you'll have more than enough ample opportunity on when the state was
Well,
able
it's
to ask
highly
follow-ups.
offensive when someone lies on you, and it's highly offensive when they try
Judge.
to implicate that you slept with somebody the first day you met with them, and I take exception to it.
All right. Well, Ms. Willis, you'll have the opportunity to explain all of that when it's the state's turn to ask more open-ended questions.
Yeah.
Ms. Merchant.
Thank you,
You
Judge.
think I'm on trial? These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial no matter how hard you try to put me on trial, Willis testified Thursday. The testimony got heated with Steve Shadow Trump's attorney and Merchant objecting to Willis' accusation before being broken up by the judge. Willis also contended that she and Wade did not start dating until 2022 after she was hired by the Fulton County DA's office.
At a place where you were living between 2019 and 2021.
So you want to start with the lie that he lived with me in South Fulton in 2019, a home he's never been to? That's one lie you told in your
Judge,
document.
No,
you-
Judge, I didn't ask her about that.
Ms. Merchant, I want you to ask a very precise question. I think she's saying and answering that he did not live with her. So why don't we break that up into smaller
Ever.
parts?
And I didn't ask about living.
But you put in your, while we're talking about professionalism, while we're talking about professionalism, she put in 3 different documents
Don't
he
you
lived
have
with me
the full opportunity to respond?
in
and
2000
filed that with the court.
in
professionally.
2019.
He's never been to South Fulton. In 2019, I lived in South Fulton. He has never been to my residence in 2019, ever, not once.
In
2020?
2019, he's never been to your residence, any place.
I lived in my home in South Fulton before I started getting the threats that were here, a house I paid for with my own sweat and tears. I'm no longer able to live there. But in 2019, I did. And in the 2 months of 2019 that I knew Mr. Wade, 3 months, the beginning of October, all of November, and all of December, Mr. Wade never came to my house in South Fulton. Let me help you out. I lived there in 2020. He never came to my house in 2020, let alone live with me, as you put falsely in these documents. In the first 3 months of 2021, when I could still enjoy my home, Mr. Wade never came to South Fulton, and it is certainly a lie that he lived with me.
So in 2020, so you said 2019, 2020. Did Mr. Wade ever visit you at a place that you
He
resided?
has never been to my home in South Fulton. 2020 was before I knew that a phone call was going to be made and I was going to have to abandon my home. As a result thereof, he never visited, lived at, came to, or has seen South Fulton.
You qualified that with your home in South Fulton.
That's where I lived in 2020.
20, did he ever visit you at a place that you resided?
Okay. I don't understand. You're going to give me guidance. In 2020, I lived in South Fulton.
Okay.
That's the only place I lived in South Fulton. That's before I had to abandon my home, Judge.
All right.
And at my
Folks,
home
I
in
think we're
South
gonna clarify
Fulton,
this. We'll break it down.
he never came there, okay? So if you don't
Ms.
come
Willis.
someplace, you can't live there.
Ms. Willis, I'm going to have to caution you. This is going to be the first time I have to caution you. We have to listen to the questions as asked. And if this happens again and again, I'm going to have no choice but to strike your testimony. So we need to break this down. Ms. Merchant's question, I believe, was asking whether you lived anywhere other than South Fulton.
On the first day of the heated hearing, the Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis and her Deputy Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade took the stand, hoping to an end to the allegation that their past relationship threatened the criminal case against Donald Trump and his allies in their attempt to overturn the 2020 election. A defendant in the Trump case, Mike Roman, is seeking to have Willis and Wade disqualified, alleging that their relationship constituted a conflict of interest. His lawyer is attempting to prove that Willis financially benefited from her relationship with Wade. If Roman is successful in having Willis relieved from the case, it would result in a disqualification of the entire district attorney's office. Nathan Wade, the special prosecutor leading the election interference against Donald Trump in Georgia, did not deny an affair with his boss Fani Willis when he was spotted for the first time on Thursday since the Bombshell allegation came to light. Willis, the Fulton County District Attorney who brought the election interference charges against the former President Donald Trump and his 18 co-defendants, she hired Wade, her alleged secret lover and private attorney, with the Atlanta-based Wade and Campbell firm to oversee the case in late 2021. Willis and Wade had engaged in a personal relationship both before and after Willis' appointment as the special prosecutor in the instant case, the motion states. Willis and Wade were romantically involved prior to this and awarding of the contract of legal services to Wade. It is not entirely clear when the relationship began, but it's begun while Wade was married. Wade filed for a divorce from his wife Jocelyn in November 2021 after 26 years of marriage according to records. The same month he started working with the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. There is also some contention as it relates to Wade, the lawyer, the contract which started on November the 1st, 2021 despite having no experience in prosecuting a complex RICO Act case like the one against Donald Trump and his associate. The court filing said that payments to Wade from the Fulton County District Attorney's Office and his subsequent purchase of a vacation with Willis could amount to honest services fraud, a federal crime in which a vendor gives back kicks to an employer.
Who in the prosecution team, prior to, I guess, the motion being filed by Defendant Roman, who in the prosecution team knew of your personal relationship, and now I'm talking romantic, with Mr. Wade?
So, sir, I am extremely private.
All I asked is who knew. It's not, the answer is no one knew, that's fine.
No.
I ask you who knew.
You could answer,
Let me just tell
answer
you
it and
this.
then explain, Ms. Willis.
I am very private. When I supervised Mr. Body and Mr. McAfee, they didn't know who I was dating, but I can assure you I was dating somebody. So that I kept something private, that's my private life, is not any mystery to anyone. It's like a woman doesn't have the right to keep her private life private. And I'm speaking on this because there have been all these intimations.
You still haven't answered the question, Ms. Willis.
I'm sorry, what was the question, Your Honor?
Is there anyone else who knew about it? And then you can explain.
I don't know. I don't think so. I certainly didn't go out telling my business to the world.
Okay, so, the best of your recollection, you didn't inform anyone on the prosecution team that the individual that you had chosen to lead the prosecution team had a personal relationship with you.
So I
Is that
think
correct?
That's inaccurate. Your question is inaccurate.
What?
Because you stated that the person I chose, we had a personal relationship. So we had a friendship. We have all these distinguishing factors. Remember, when I chose him in November of 21, first of all, let's get this straight. Mr. Wade was not actually my first choice. That's no insult to him.
Your Honor,
No.
I
It is
don't-
you because of the way you phrased the question. You said when I chose him, I didn't inform people of a personal relationship. We have defined personal as romantic. It is an inaccurate way to state the question.
Then I will
as-
certainly restate it so it is very accurate.
Okay, and please do not yell at me.
You hired Mr. Wade for the first time on November 1st of 2021, correct?
November of 2021. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Your testimony is, whether one accepts it or not, your testimony is that at the time you hired Mr. Wade, there had never been a romantic relationship with Mr. Wade before you hired him, correct?
Yes, my testimony is that we were very good friends, but not. But we're talking about sex, so let's just don't. Well,
No, I'm not talking about, I'm saying romantic relationship doesn't necessarily have to be just sex.
Well,
It can
I
be
don't-
dating, it can be holding hands, it can be any of those things that one might call romantic. I'm asking you whether or not prior to November 1st of 2021, there was a romantic relationship with Mr. Wade. It's very simple. It's either a yes or a no.
I don't consider my relationship with him to be romantic. Before that, I'm not a hand holder, so no.
That's fine. Now, let's move beyond November 1st of 2020,
Yeah.
2021, excuse me. If I understand your testimony, there was no romantic relationship with Mr. Wade until early in 2022, whether it be January or February or March, early in 2022, correct?
I would say sometime between February and April. Yes, sir.
All right.
Well, this is a case I believe I'm going to continue to track. Thanks for watching, and you can drop it in the comment section how you feel about this hearing, and you believe that the hearing will actually go in the favor of Miss Fani Willis. This has been Links 007 TV. Let's talk. Have a blessed day.